Hey there everybody, it's Kelly with Kellyscards.ca and welcome to the What's in My Stash. Now for this week we're going to talk about scoring boards and scoring tools, and of course they're very important because making card bases and especially albums and mini albums and things that have multiple folds, it's really important that not only you get a good nice crisp edge but that it's very, very accurate. And there's a lot of tools in my stash that I have that I really like that just are so accurate and give good results. So to get started, the first piece I have, this first tool I have, is this Martha Stewart scoring board. Now this is the big one. This is the 12.5 size all the way down to 12.5. So you can fit a 12 by 12 piece of paper quite easily. And I mostly just use this one here to do albums and mini albums and things like that. Things that go beyond the smaller scoring board, which I will show you in a second. And I really like how this board is flat and there are a lot of places to score. Some boards, they don't have as many places to score. And as you see here, there is 1/8 all the way down the way to 12.5. So you have lots of places to score. You don't have to shift your paper around. I know there's other tools that you kind of have to shift your paper around to get it into the right spot to score it. This one is amazing because it has all of these scoring places along the board. The other thing is inside it comes with a scoring tool, which I don't know where mine is. I kind of have my own scoring tools that I like for this, but it has some information inside here about making cards as well as boxes. Now this is kind of a little out of date because there's so many punch boards and things like that that can help you, but if you have a scoring board, you can still use this scoring board to size cards and boxes. And then of course on the back here, there's this little pull-out thing, which actually I've never pulled out, this little triangle, but it helps you to make envelopes. And it shows the size of the envelopes, so A2, A7, A6, etc. And it shows where you need to start and put the triangle and then score. So that's a pretty cool tool. I've never really used it. I prefer doing envelopes kind of straight up and down rather than the triangular form when I make my envelopes, but this tool does a lot of things. And of course making boxes, literally anything that you need to make a crisp line, you can just figure out your dimensions and use this big scoring board. So really love this tool. So now if that one is too big for you, this one here, this is the Martha Stewart scoring board, but this is the smaller version. And if you're a card maker, you will love this one probably more than the big one. It's just smaller and it's easier to store. It's not as thick. Really like this scoring board. So again, it has a little 1/8 of an inch scoring areas, and I like that they're really deep. Some of the scoring boards I found that they're not deep, so they don't really get a good precise score into each line that you're making, but really like this one. It basically shows you where the card size is and where to score on that. The other thing is this has this back piece that again gives you information about cards and envelopes, and you can use this back template to help make envelopes. So this is a really smart tool. Love this, use it all the time, and it stays very close to me. It's actually just in the bin on the floor, very close to me, that I can just pull this out. And again, it's not that an expensive scoring board. Really like this one opposed to other companies. So now I'm going to get into a few other ideas of scoring. If you don't have a scoring board and want to still score some things, some little tips and tricks that I have figured out along the way is I can just take my card base like this, line it up so it's nice and straight, and then I will come in with a ruler and I will just go across like this. And this also will give you a nice crisp edge. It's obviously not as completely easy as the scoring boards, but as you can see there, just by a ruler I was able to make this card base fairly easy. and it's got a really nice scored edge. So that is an idea there. So now I want to give you an idea. Let's say you don't have a scoring board and you don't like the ruler idea, but you have a trimmer. This is an idea that you can use. So we'll open up my trimmer here, and I would like to score it at 2 inches. So now you might have a piece like this that's black. Usually the scoring ones are black, and that will score. But if you don't, all you have to do is take a bone folder and go into your edge, and you will be able to score just like this. Now there's a lot of trimmers that have this little valley here where it goes down and you can feel the hole. This is the type of trimmer that you can use for this. So you definitely can get great scoring pieces out of this. Again, I still like the Martha Stewart scoring board. I never use this type of method, but for people who don't have either the scoring board or really don't want to have another tool laying around, this is also an option. So you just lay your paper down and score it, and you get really great results. So that is another idea there. I'm going to bring in my Martha Stewart, the smaller scoring board, and my bone folder that I really like. This is a Martha Stewart one. Really like the pointy edge. It is very, very detailed, and it's not too bulky that when I use the scoring board, I get really good results. And as we can see there, it's pretty deep and pretty crisp. So I love this tool for this reason. But when I fold over my card bases, the tool I have fallen in love with, and a lot of crafters have talked about this one, is this Simon Says Stamp small Teflon bone folder. And this is a really expensive tool. I think it's like $26 US, which is, you know, pretty expensive for a small tool like this. But I bought it because I was finding with other bone folders like this and other ones on the market that, especially on black cardstock, it would leave like a shine. It would leave marks whenever you used it. And it really bothered me, especially on the edges of all my albums, and I decided, okay, I'm going to try this one here. So I ordered this one, and when it came, I just couldn't believe how awesome this was. This really was one of those tools that was worth every dollar. So now when I go to finish my scoring of my card bases, I always use this tool. There is absolutely no marks that even show that this was scored by this tool, and you get crisp edges every time. Now the only downside that I find with this tool is when I go to use my scoring board, I find that this is a little bit more bulky going into these tracks, and I prefer this one. So I actually use this tool for this type of thing, using on the scoring board, but when it comes to actually going on the paper for final results, I will use this one. Also, if I attach ribbon underneath, or I just want to basically burnish the card together in the layers, I will rub using this one, because again, this leaves nothing on the paper. Really, really love this tool. So I hope this gives you some ideas on some scoring tools. Again, scoring things are pretty important in card making because it's the basis of all our cards and our folds, and, you know, going into albums and other things like that. So there are some really great tools on the market. I have looked at quite a few other ones, and the ones that I have in my stash I am definitely the most happy with, and ones that didn't work so well have been removed from my stash or sold or whatnot. So I hope this gives you some ideas about scoring. And if you missed the first episodes of the What in My Stash, it will be linked at the end of the video in regards to adhesives. So thank you so much for watching. You can check me out on my website at Kellyscards.ca. You can subscribe for more videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.